All right, everybody. It is another game in the Rockies Horror Baseball Show. We are at game 21. It's technically the second game of a doubleheader played on April the 20th, but we split it up over 2 days. The Rockies have dropped the first two games to the Nationals. Their record now stands at 7-13. I did go to the Action PC computer. Hello, Ben. I did go to the Action PC computer and look at their averages on the replay. So I wrote them on the side here. I'll read them off. They're kind of small. You may not be able to see them very well, but I'll read them off to you. Antonio Sensatella for the Rockies. On the replays, 0-2 with a 5.59 ERA. And in real world, he was 4-15 with a 6.65 ERA. He'll be opposed by Washington Nationals right-hander Brad Lord. I'm assuming he's not related to Jack Lord, Bocamdano, but we will go forward. Both pitchers have a -3 hold, so that might slow the run game down just a tad. Of course, Coors Field, very hitter-friendly. Singles 1-19, home runs 1-9. So leading things off will be James Wood, the left fielder for the Nationals. Rockies trying to avoid the sweep. And that's going to be a 6-11 left-handed ground ball to first, and that's going to be taken by Bouchard, who's playing first base today. Usually an outfielder, we're playing first base today. He'll take it to the bag himself. He's not very good either, 4.25, but he does make the play there. There's one away for catcher Keibert Ruiz, switch hitting catcher. 1-3, and he's going to foul it out to Jacob Stallings, 2 down. For first baseman DH Nathaniel Lowe. Usually was first baseman the first two games, and Bell DH. Now they flip-flop. Lowe's the DH and Bell's at first base. So DH, 112, fly to left. That's going to do it, a 1-2-3 inning for Sensatella. Very rare for him. Rarefied air for Sensatella to go 1-2-3 in the first inning. But he did it. Here's Brad Lord. Lord on the 25 season, 5-10 with a 4.34 ERA. 19 starts. He also had some relief appearances. And leading things off will be Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. Moniak hitting 302 on the replay. And I'll enhance those a little bit more if I go to the Action PC computer. Moniak hitting 302, 5 homers, and 12 runs batted in on the replay for Mickey Moniak. We get a 6-6 lefty, and that's a strikeout. One away. Brings up Sean Bouchard. He's hitting a very paltry 0.77 on the replay. And he has no homers and no runs batted in. That is a 6-10, and that's a ground ball to second. That's going to be handled by Garcia. 2 up, 2 down for Ryan McMahon. McMahon is hitting 299 on the replay, and he has 2 homers and 7 runs batted in. 5-11, and that's a ballpark home run, ballpark blast for McMahon, 1-9. This would be home run number 3 on the replay for McMahon if he can get it, 1-9. And he gets it right on the number. That is a home run, Ryan McMahon. Rockies take the lead on the 3rd home run of the season for Ryan McMahon. He needed the 1 through 9. He got the 9 right on the dot. And that takes us to the designated hitter, Hunter Goodman. Hunter Goodman on the replay is hitting 308, 6 homers, and 16 runs batted in. Undoubtedly their best hitter overall. 3-6, and he grounds to short, and that will end the inning. But 1 run is there. And we go to the second inning, 1-0 favor of the Rockies. Here on the Rockies Horror Baseball Show. Game number 21 edition. Top of the second we go. Sensatella back out. Facing Josh Bell, first baseman for the Nationals. That's a 1-8, and that'll be a ground ball to first, and Bouchard will handle it again by himself. 1 up, 1 down, and here comes Luis Garcia, Jr., as a matter of fact. 111, and that's going to be a ballpark blast for him. So, again, a 1-9, and we got a tie ball game. And that is gone. Garcia has just tied it with a home run. And let's see about Sensatella. How many home runs has he given up now? Does it say? Yeah, that's his third home run he has given up on the season. And we have a tie game just that quickly. Bring up Dylan Cruz. Hello, Thomas. Dylan Cruz, right fielder, 111. That's a ground ball back to Sensatella, 2 down. And that'll take us to Jose Tena. Tomorrow night, the Rockies will be in Kansas City to start a quick 3-game road trip. And let's see, Jose Tena, third base, to 1-8. And that's a 1-7 single. Anything else he grounds to short. And that's going to be a ground ball to short. That's going to be handled by Shunk. Who to shunk it? And Tena is out of there. But the home run off the bat of Garcia has tied the score at 1 apiece. Zach Veen, one of the nameless players, is up there, but he's doing very well. He's hitting .321 on the replay for Zach Veen. .321 when he's using a nameless player card. He's got 2 home runs and 3 runs batted in, just 28 at bats. That's a 4-7, and that's going to be a walk. So Zach Veen draws the base on balls. Brings up Jordan Beck. Beck not doing so well. 148 on the replay for Jordan Beck. No homers and 1 run batted in a total of 27 at bats. Here's Beck, 6-7. Ground ball second base X. This could be a double play, although Garcia is a 4, so it might be hard to turn it. 4-7 is probably a G3, I would imagine. And it is. 4-7 is a G3. It's a pound sign, but they weren't holding Veen on. So G3 means only plays at first. His error rating is a 10. And second base 10, 4, and then 16 through 8 has to be avoided, and he avoids that easily. So he makes the play to first. Veen will take second base. And that breaks up Jacob Stallings. Stallings really having his issues. He's hitting .038 on the replay. That comes to 1 for 26. He's got 1 hit and 26 at bats. He does have 4 RBI. So, ground outs, sac fly, stuff like that. So otherwise, he's really struggled, obviously. 2-5, and we're not going to struggle here. 1-9 is a double. 10-20 is a single. That's a single, but it's a 2-star single, and that will give the Rockies the lead right back. First run batted in of the year for Stallings, only his second hit all year. And the Rockies lead it 2-1. And that will send up Amador. Adale Amador, your batter. Shunk on deck. Stallings at first, obviously no threat to do any kind of running. Amador on the replay is hitting 143. No homers and 1 run batted in. 4-5, switch hitter struck him out. A second strikeout for Mr. Lord. 2 down, and it's going to be Shunk. And Shunk is hitless in the replay. He's only had 4 at bats, played 1 game. This is his second game starting. He was 0 for 4 in his first game that he played, struck out 3 times. That's a 1. Lord's wild pitch is a 1. So no wild pitch, but here is Shunk. That's a 6-8. And that's a single for Shunk. He gets his first base hit. How about that? Single to center field. Stallings does not run well. He will stop at second base. And that's going to send up Mickey Moniak now in a clutch situation. Moniak in the clutch will gain a hit, 2-3. That's a 1-7 for Moniak. Struck him out. Third strikeout for Lord. But the Rockies reclaim the lead 2-1 rather after 2. Since Satella back out, we'll face the bottom portion of the order. Jacob Young, Nasim Nunez, and then the top of the order in James Wood. So Jacob Young is up for his first at bat. 5-6, and that's a base hit off of Sensatella. Young is aboard. Sensatella that -3 hold, so I think they're going to hold Young there. They will hold him on, but he will not try for a lead. And here is Nasim Nunez, switch hitter. It's a 2-3, and that's a fly. I'm sorry, it's 1-3. 2-3, it's a strikeout. That is the first strikeout for Sensatella. Brings up James Wood. Wood grounded to first, his first chance. 1-9. He will strike out. Back-to-back Ks for Sensatella. 2 quick outs after the single. And here is Keibert Ruiz. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. Looking at a balk on Sensatella, which is only a 2. And there's no balk. Ruiz, 6'9", switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to left, and that's going to be hauled in out there by Beck, and that'll take care of it. Sensatella hanging on to a 2-1 lead going to the bottom of the third. Again, the Rockies trying to avoid being swept. Here's first baseman Bouchard. Grounded to second his first trip. That is a 2-10 for Bouchard, and that's a leadoff walk. And that's the second walk issued by Lord. And Bouchard will hold. He will not try any steals or anything. Only had 2 steal attempts all year. Got caught once. So 50-50, and it's not worth it. Here's McMahon. Now, if Lord had a +3 hold, maybe a different story, but he does not. So here's McMahon. He homered his first time. 4-12, and this is a ground ball pitcher X. He is a 1E0, so that's automatically a double play because you can't make an error. And the 1, I believe it's on. Let me double check it. Let me make sure it's not. It may not be an automatic G1. Let me reposition myself here. No, it's not an automatic G1. Okay, so if it's a 10 or higher on the D20, it'll be an automatic double play. 10 or higher. That's a 6, so it will not be a double play. It'll be a G3. Tough ratings for the pitcher ranges here. A 1 only gets a G3 on a 6. So not only is it not a double play, you don't even get the force play. The only play is to first, and going to second base is Bouchard. Here's Hunter Goodman. That is a 6-9 for Goodman, and that's a fly to right, 2 down. For Zach Veen, that's a 1-7, and he struck him out. That's going to end the inning. 4th strikeout for Lord. And we go to the top of the 4th. And it will be Lowe, Bell, and Garcia due against Sensatella. That's a 5-5, and that's a base on balls. Not what he wanted. First walk, but the leadoff walk can sometimes come back to bite you. Here's Josh Bell. That's a 1-7, and that is a 1-2 double. 3-20 is a fly to center, and that's a fly to center. I see your point, Ben, but I will counter that by saying the pitcher is so close to the batter, the ball gets there so quickly. The spin around, I've seen double plays turned many times by pitchers very easily because the ball is on them so quickly. They get it and throw it to second before the batter even gets out of the batter's box because it's just hit right back at them. So I've seen different games handle it different ways. But it depends on if it's hit right back at them or if it's grounded to the side somewhere. It just depends on how it's hit. So I guess we can say in this situation it was a grounder kind of away from him, and his only play was to first base. 1-5, and that's going to be a single 2 stars. I imagine somebody like Greg Maddux is rated as a 1, and he would definitely turn his share of double plays. Won many a Gold Glove. Here's Luis Garcia, but I can see the argument both ways, obviously. So Garcia may look to try to get a jump here or get a good lead, 4 through 6. Doesn't get it, so don't have to worry about it. So runners at the corners, 1 out, and that brings up Dylan Cruz. Infield looking for the double play. 2-7. Fly ball center field B, question mark. Potential sacrifice fly. Low doesn't run all that well, though. He's only a 10. You do add 2 to make it a 12. Moniak is a +1 arm, makes it a 13. So they're going to try it. 1 to 13. They will try it. 65% chance. I don't think Tenna has a 65% chance of getting the base hit. So they're going to send him 1 to 13. Again, it's figured this way. 10 plus 2 for the question mark plus 1 for Moniak makes it a 1 to 13. And he's in there. Sacrifice fly to tie the game once again at 2 apiece. Dylan Cruz, a sac fly. 2 outs now for Tenna. And that is a 1-7 for Tenna, and he grounds to second to end the inning. So we are tied at 2. And although I am playing the Rockies, I do try to manage the other team with the same fervor as I manage the Rockies. So I don't want to make it, I don't want to play it where I'm playing favorites. Because I really don't care. I'm just curious to see how it turns out. I'm really not a Rockies. I'm obviously not a Rockies fan. I know nothing about the Rockies. I just thought it was interesting to play it based on their real life futility. All right, here's Jordan Beck. 4-9, and that's a 1 to 13 single. Plus, I got this 25 set, and I had to do something with it. So 1 to 13, and that's a base hit for Jordan Beck. That'll help that 148 average. He's aboard. Does he try to get a lead? He's going to try to get a lead. Needs a 2 through 6 or an 11. Doesn't get it. He'll hold for Jacob Stallings. And that's a 6-8. That's a single to center field. How about that? Jacob Stallings came into the game hitting .038 with only 1 hit on the season. He's already 2 for 2 in this game. Go figure. First and second, nobody out for Amador. If he was a better bunter, I'd have him bunt, but he's not a good bunter. Hello, Barbara. That got hung up. Let me try it again. That got hung up. Here we go. 6-3. Switch hitter, 6-3. Fly ball left field X. That's going to be Wood. He's a 3. 3-19. He will get to that, and I believe everybody's going to have to hold, obviously, on that one. Checking for an error on Wood. He is an E4. The only way he makes an error is 3, 4, 15, and 18. And that will be no problem. 1 away for Adam Shunk or Aaron Shunk. I forget exactly. Let's see what his name actually is. It is Aaron Shunk. Aaron Shunk. All right, so Aaron Shunk is up. He did actually single his first time up. That's a 5-10, and that's a ballpark single check. So most likely going to be a base hit that loads the bases. So how about that? Shunk's 2 for 2, and Stallings is 2 for 2. 2 of their worst hitters are 2 for 2 in this game. Go figure. Bases are loaded, 1 out for Moniak the Maniac. As the Rockies looking to reclaim the lead right back. Nationals playing for the double play. Moniak is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Needs to make contact, sacrifice fly or something. 6-7. Ground ball second base X. This could be a double play, but again, Garcia's only a 4. 4-9. That could be iffy. Might just be a G3. 4-9 is a G3, so the only play is going to be at first base, and that will give the Rockies the lead. It will be an RBI ground out. Double check for an error once again. On the E10, he has to avoid 4, 16, 17, and 18. And that's a 17, so he did not avoid it. Let's check it again. E10 of 17 is an error. So I need to fix my score sheet. I put down 4-3 prematurely. It's actually going to be an E4. Actually an E4, one base error. Everybody's safe. As Garcia boots it. Moniak is still credited with an RBI because the run would have scored anyway. But now the bases are loaded. Still only one out for Bouchard. Rockies reclaim the lead 3-2. Two Balker pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance on Ruiz. Ruiz's pass ball rating is a 0, so can't have a pass ball. Here's Bouchard again, infield looking for the double play. That's a 2-10, and that's a walk. That'll walk in a run. So RBI base on balls, and the Rockies lead it now 4-2. Everybody else moves up 90 feet. Might be some action cooking in the Nationals bullpen. They do have right-hander Cole Henry loosening in their bullpen. If Lord can't get through this, here's McMahon. That's a 1-3, and that's a split. 1-8's a single. Anything else, he lines to second. And that's a single, so one base single. But again, another 90 feet and another run, 3 runs in the inning. Base is still loaded for Goodman. And Mr. Lord may be on his last leg here. That is a 3-4 for Goodman, and that's a walk. So he's going to walk it. That's going to be it for Lord. He's not going to make it through the 4th inning. I know he probably feels like that play should have been made at second, and he just never recovered from that. So that's going to be it for Lord. He's going to go 3 1/3 innings, and he's going to get knocked around pretty good. And coming in for the Nationals will be Cole Henry. Cole Henry is a right-handed reliever. He was 1-2 with a 4.27 ERA and 2 saves on the 25 season. Cole Henry, and it looks like, barring a double play, the Rockies will bat around. And it's Zach Veen stepping to the plate, facing Henry, who's a +8 hold. That's horrible. Let's see how many hits Lord gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Got him for 7 hits. He walked 1, 2, 3, 4 walks. That wasn't good. And 4 strikeouts. Can't tell on the runs, though, because they're still batting. So infield, that's a 1. And Henry's wild pitch rating is a 7. He could come right in and throw a wild pitch. He does not. It's blocked, so they'll pitch to Veen. 5-8, and that's another walk. Yet another walk by Nationals pitching. And this is getting a little bit out of hand here. The Rockies will obviously bat around. So to follow Spokane Steve, I will move both columns over so that they still are in alignment. And we'll skip this column for the Nationals. So Zach Veen draws a walk. And now Jordan Beck, who led off the inning with a single, is back up. 5 runs are in. It's 7-2. Still only 1 out. Henry trying to get those last couple outs. Oh, that one hung up there. Let's redo that. That's a 5-8. Fly ball center field B. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Jordan Beck. Scoring is going to be McMahon. And it's a 6-pack for Coors. From Coors Field, we got a 6-pack. It is now 8-2. Jacob Stallings with 2 outs and runners at first and second. That's a 2. Chance for a Balker pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance. Henry's balk is a 5. No balk, so Henry will pitch it. 2-8, and that's a strikeout to finally end the inning. But a 6-pack for the Rockies, and they take what seems to be a commanding 8-2 lead. But you got to remember, Sensatella is on the mound, and he has a 6.65 ERA, and that didn't come because he's a good pitcher. So here's Jacob Young. Start things off here. Thomas, the one good thing I liked about the Barnes & Noble game parts, you get you get the cards in a new block. The box is square. The charts are square. I just really like the game components. I understand if you don't like the modern season. I'm hoping that Strat-O-Matic will offer the new game components next season, and, as an option. Maybe go the original or go the new stuff. I think they would sell. Of course, just because something would sell doesn't mean Strat-O-Matic is smart enough to sell it. We all know how they will operate. 5-10. That's a ballpark blast, and that's going to be a 1-9 for Jacob Young. However, he has weak power, so it would only be a single. That's a 14 anyway, so he's going to fly to left. But since he had weak power, he only hit 2 home runs and 324 at-bats. So the only way he can hit a home run is on the 3-6 partial. He must hit both his home runs against right-handed pitching. But the only way he gets one is on a 3-6 with a 1-7 split. That's the only way he's going to get it. So Nunez is batting. 3-9 for Nunez, and that's a single. That'll bring up James Wood. And the score being 8-2, nobody's going to try to steal. 3-8 for Wood, and he walks. That's the last thing the Rockies want are walks. To put more base runners on the bases. You got to make them earn it when you're up 8-2. This is the 5th inning, so it is the fatigue inning for Sensatella. He's got to get through this inning to qualify for his first win of the season. So it's a very big inning for Sensatella. 2-4, and that's a ground ball second base B. So we'll get the force here on a 4-6. Ruiz is the new runner at first, and Nunez will go to third. But now 2 outs of runners on the corners for Nathaniel Lowe. Nathaniel Lowe in the clutch gains 2 hits, 1-7 and 1-10. 1-7 and 1-10. That's a 2-7, though, and a ground to short to end the inning. So Sensatella now has qualified for the victory, assuming the Rockies never lose the lead. He would be the winning pitcher. Henry back out. He's going to pitch this 5th inning. And then they'll go to somebody else. But right now, it's going to face Amador. It's a 1-10, and that's a 1-14 home run. 15-20 is a double. And that's a 19. That'll be a double for Amador. Leadoff double. Oh, I didn't put in the runs here, did I? 8 runs that they got there. Let's see. So it looks like probably I'm doing this in my head, but I'm thinking it's 6 earned. I could be wrong on that. That's just my guess, just by eyeballing it. It's probably off by a run or 2, but when I put it in the Strat computer, the Action PC computer, they'll figure all that stuff out. So here is Shunk. 2 for 2 for Shunk. 2-9, and he's 3 for 3. What is going on here? Guy with a pitiful card, 210 average on a nameless player is 3 for 3. That's kind of odd. Runners at the corners, nobody out. And that'll bring up Mickey Moniak, and back to the top of the order for Moniak. Moniak's 0 for 3. He could certainly use a hit. 1-6, but he won't. It's a fly to center. Center field B question mark, though. Chance for a tag up on a sac fly. He's a 13. You add 2 to it to make it a 15. Center fielder arm Young's a -1, be a 1 to 14. They're up 8 to 2, so you can take all kind of chances you want. 1 to 14, it's a sac fly, and it is. So that'll score the run. Sacrifice fly for Moniak. It is now 9 to 2. When you're up 8 to 2, you can take all kinds of chances that you would never take normally. All right, here is Bouchard. Shunk at first and 1 out. That's a 1-7, and that's ground ball first base C. He gets it and throws to the pitcher covering for out number 2. Shunk goes to second, and here's McMahon. 2 for 3 with a home run is Ryan McMahon. Still a clutch situation. And in the clutch, he loses hit on 1-2. So it's a 3-8, and he's going to walk it. Boy, it's a lot of walks being issued in this game, that's for sure. Yet another walk. That is the second walk issued by Henry. It'll put runners at first and second with 2 outs for Hunter Goodman. Clutch situation for Goodman. And he's actually going to lose just 1 hit, 3-11. This is his only loss of a hit. That's a 4-10, and that's a strikeout, and that will end the inning, and that'll end the night for Cole Henry. So Henry's going to go an inning and 2/3. And he will give up 1 run earned. He's going to walk 2, strike out 2. And he's going to give up 2 hits. So we go to the top of the 6th. Sensatella back out. Probably his last inning, I would assume. It is not going to be Nasim Nunez. I don't know why he's up there like that. It's actually going to be Josh Bell. Spell, Garcia, and Cruz. Can't back out of inning here. Here's Bell. 5-3. Ground ball pitcher X. He's a 2E0, so we know he can't make an error on a 2. Let's see what he does on a 2. As a 2-rated pitcher, he has to have a 3 or higher. So anything other than a 1 or 2, he makes the play. And, of course, it's a 1. You knew it was going to be. It's a base hit for Josh Bell. That'll send up Luis Garcia. 5-7. Lefty. That's a single 2 stars. And Sensatella may be approaching his fatigue very shortly. So the bullpen for the Rockies is loosening. They have right-hander Jaden Hill loosening in the bullpen. Sensatella, runners at the corners, infield obviously playing for a double play. 4-7, and that's a 1-19 single. And that'll be a single 1 star, and that's going to do it for Sensatella. I think they have seen enough. They know he's about lost it. So Sensatella will go 5+, and he will exit. He will exit. Oh, I didn't do what I said I was going to do. I was supposed to move this stuff over. Oh, well, I forgot to do that. So we'll go back and do it the way I had it originally. I was supposed to skip a column, and I forgot to do it. All right, here's Jaden Hill. Jaden Hill on the season, 1-1, 3.38 ERA, and 29 innings pitched. Right-hander Jaden Hill. And I am using the Action PC computer to tell me who is on the roster and who is not at this particular point in time for the Rockies. So a couple guys in the bullpen. Peralta, one of them a lefty, he has been sent down, and Jaden Hill was brought up, and so was Zagnos or whatever his name is. So we're monitoring that. +3 on the hold for Hill. So let's see about Sensatella. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits for Sensatella. So far, 3 runs, but he is responsible for these 2 as well. Let's see. He walks 2, and he strikes out just 2. So he can give up anything from 3 to 5 runs, depending on what happens the rest of the way. All right, here is Jose Tena, first and second, nobody out. Jose Tena. That's a 5'8" lefty. Struck him out. Jaden Hill comes in and gets a strikeout right away. 1 away for Jacob Young. Oh, that got held up. Let's try that again. 6'5", and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Shunk. He's a 3E0. 3 and an 11. What is that going to do for it? Is that a G2? Let's see if that's a G2. Probably is. 3 and an 11. 3 and 11 is a G2, so they get the force play on the runner Cruz. He is out of there 6-4, out number 2. Young reaches on the fielder's choice, and going to third is Garcia. Runners at the corners, 2 outs for Nasim Nunez. Clutch situation for Nunez. And in the clutch, he will lose a hit on 3-5 and 3-9. 1-6 is going to be a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. So just the 1 run is all they get. Close the book on Sensatella. So his outing's not quite as bad now since they only gave up the 3 runs. Hill did very well for himself. Jaden Hill. Now we go to the bottom of the 6th, and the Nationals will need another pitcher. And they will go to Jackson Rutledge. Jackson Rutledge, 4-2, 5.77 ERA in the 2025 season. Jackson Rutledge. And he's a -1, so that makes him a 0. It is 9-3. Leading things off will be Zach Veen, the old nameless player. Whoa, that didn't go through. One of those red ones went on the outside there. Let's try that again. 5-7. And that's an in-home run chance. But he's got weak power, so it can't be a home run. It'd be a 1-7 would be a 1-7 would be a single. 8-20 is a fly out. And that's a fly out to right field. Veen is out of there. 1 away. And that sends us to Jordan Beck. 1-8 for Beck. And that's a home run on a 1-5. 6-20 is a double. And that's a double for Beck. He is singled and doubled and had a sacrifice fly. Definitely improving on his 148 average. Here's Stallings. 6-9, and that's a home run, but he's weak power, so it'd be a single 1-8, double 9-20. And that's a 9. It'll be a double, RBI double for Stallings. Stallings came into this game 1 for 26 and 0.38 average. He's 3 for 4 now in this game. And the Rockies increase the lead now to 10-3. And we go to Amador. 6-11, and that's going to be a strikeout. Out number 2, and that brings up Shunk. 6-6, and that's a walk. The inning will continue with Mickey Moniak. Also a clutch situation for Moniak, and he will gain a hit on 2-3. 1-4, and that's a foul out to Ruiz to end the inning. But a 10-3 lead for the Rockies as they look to avoid the sweep, and they would improve to 8-13 on the replay, almost get our 9 wins on game number 21 versus game number 59. So Jaden Hill back out. He will pitch another inning. He got 1, 2, 3 in his previous inning. So He'll stay out there and pitch again. Top of the order, James Wood. You know what? Now that I remember it, I will go ahead and do my original and move these guys over. So now we're going to be in this column. So we get lined up with this column. So I can do it that way, I guess. All right, here's James Wood. 2-4, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Hill. He struck out 3 of the 4 he has faced. Here's keeper Ruiz. 5-11, switch hitter. Fly ball right field X. That is Mr. Veen. He's a 3. 3 and a 9. I think he'll get to that. Let's double check it. 3 and a 9. 3 and a 9 is an F2, so that's good enough. 2 down for Nathaniel Lowe. 3-8 for Lowe. He's going to walk. First walk issued by Hill. Brings up Josh Bell. This will be Hill's last inning. It's a 3-10, and that's a ground ball to second. That'll do it. So Jaden Hill goes 2 innings. And he's going to give up no hits and no runs. Walks 1, strikes out 3. Excellent outing for Hill. Rutledge, I believe he is done. And they will go with Jorge Lopez out of the bullpen. Jorge Lopez. Rutledge will pitch his 1 inning, give up 2 hits and a run, walking 1 and striking out 1. Lopez on the season for 2025 was 6-0, but he had an ERA of 6.57. Makes you wonder how he got 6 wins in just 25 innings of pitching. He got 6 wins and a save with that kind of ERA. But that's just the way it is. We're at the 7th inning stretch, and it is a 10-3 ball game. Bouchard, your batter. And Bouchard against Lopez, 5-6, and that's a 1-12 single. Anything else he grounds to first. And that's a 13, so that is actually grounded to Josh Bell, who takes it to the bag himself. 1 away for Ryan McMahon. 3-3 for McMahon. That's a ballpark blast for Ryan McMahon. Let's back this up just a hair here, if I can. Or can I? I can't back it up any further. Let me move this over this way then. McMahon on the 3-3 is a ballpark blast, which is a 1-9. And that is a 15, so that's going to fail. Just a deep fly to right. And that'll bring up Hunter Goodman, designated hitter. 6-9, and that is a ground ball to third. That'll take care of Goodman and the Rockies here in the 7th. That'll be it for Lopez. He goes 1 inning. Doesn't give up anything. And they'll bring in their closer, Finnegan. He did not pitch in either of the first 2 games for the Nationals, so he's going to need some work. We'll bring in Kyle Finnegan to pitch the 9th. Or the 8th, bottom of the 8th, rather. So right now, the Rockies need a new pitcher to face Garcia, Cruz, and Tenna. And the Rockies will go to their bullpen. And let's see who they decide to bring out. They're going to bring out, the Bird is the word. They're going to bring in Jake Bird. See if Bird can pitch the last 2 innings. He does have 2 for fatigue. And he's got a 10-3 lead to work with. Jake Bird, before he went to the Yankees, and this might be his combined stats. I guess it probably is. 4-2, 5.53 ERA. Facing Garcia, then Cruz and Tenna. 5-7, righty. Struck him out. Bird gets the strikeout. Strikeout for Bird brings up Dylan Cruz. 6-6, and that's a 1-4 double. Anything else will be a single. And that's a 1-out single for Dylan Cruz. Brings up Jose Tena. That is a 110. Ground ball first base. Hey, that's a 3-6-3 double play. First double play of the game for either team. And Jake Bird faces the minimum, which is going to make it very easy for him to pitch the 9th now. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, still a 10-3 game, and Kyle Finnegan, the closer for the Nationals, coming on. Makes his first appearance of the series. 1-4 with a 4.38 ERA and 20 saves. But he's just in to get an inning of work. Zach Veen stays in there. 4-7 lefty is a walk. Veen walks, and that's going to send up Jordan Beck, who's had a good day. Single, double, sacrifice fly. Finnegan to Beck. Whoops, that white die went over the edge. Let's try it again. 5-10. That's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Nunez, a 2E20. Potential double. That's 2 and a 1. I was got ready to say potential double play, but now it's going to be a base hit with that double die being a 1. And now his error is an E20, so he's got to avoid 4, 15, 16, and 17, which he does, but he cannot get to it. It's a base hit. First and second, nobody out for Jacob Stallings, who was incredibly 3 for 4 in this game. That's a 1. Finnegan wild pitch is a 20, so that's automatic. He automatically tosses a wild pitch out there. Infield in now. Not that it matters, but just for the heck of it, they're bringing him in. 6-7, and that is a strikeout for Finnegan. 1 away. For Amador, infield still in. That is a 4-8 switch hitter batting left, and that's a walk. It's going to load the bases. Bases are loaded for Mr. Shunk. Infield looking for the double play now. That is a 2-4, and they get a ground ball third base B, not a double play. Shunk with an RBI ground out as he beats the relay to bring home the run. It's now 11-3 favor the Rockies with 2 outs now. And Moniak the Maniac stepping to the plate. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. That's a 3-10 for Moniak the Maniac, and that's a ballpark blast on the 3-10. 1-9. And he can't quite do it. That's a fly to right to end the inning. So Finnegan goes 1 inning, but like a lot of closers, when it's not a closing situation, they are not very sharp. So he walks 2, strikes out 1, gives up a hit and a run. So it is an 11-2 ball game, and I'm going to tempt fate here and put the X here saying that the Rockies are not going to blow this lead. All right, so Jacob Young, your batter for the Nationals. They might pinch hit. Let's see if the Nationals might go to their bench just to bring in somebody else because Young's not a very good hitter. Let's see who they want to bring in. They're going to bring in Alex Call. I don't think he's played all series. So Alex Call will come in and pinch hit for Young. Alex Call. And he would later be traded to the Dodgers and be on their World Series team. So Alex Call it is. Call gets the call. And he'll be facing Jake Bird. 1-4 for Call, and he flies to right field, 1 away. That'll bring up Nunez. Nasim Nunez, 1 for 3. And that's a 2-10. Ground ball to second, 2 away. Last chance is James Wood. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. 4-4. Catcher X, we're looking at Stallings. He's a 3. 3 and a 7. Probably some sort of a foul out of some kind. Let's see, a 3 and a 7. Yep, it's a pop out, assuming there's no error because nobody's on base. But he's only E1, so the only way he makes an error is on a 17. and he does not. So it's popped up to Stallings, and there's your ball game. Rockies take revenge on the Nationals in the game 3 of the series by crushing them by the score of 11-3, and they improve now to 8-13 on the season. Let's see, Bird got one hit and a strikeout, nothing else. So for the Nationals, I've got them 11 runs on 12 hits and no errors. For the Nationals, 3 runs on 8 hits and the 1 error right there. Winning pitcher is Sensatella. He goes to 1-2. Lord the loser, and I don't know what his record is because I'm not keeping track of them. And then Hill and Bird finish out the ball game. So the Rockies improved to 8-13 on the replay, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were 3-18 at this point in real world, but I will double check it just to see how we're doing in comparison to the real season. See if I get manager of the year or not. See what they did here against the final game against the Nationals. No, they actually won that 3-1 real world. So they were 4-17 real world. So we're still a +4. They were 4-17. This replay 8-13. But leave the friendly confines of Coors Field and head for a quick 3-game road trip to Kansas City before coming home for a 6-game homestand against Cincinnati and Atlanta. But quick 3 games in Kansas City. That'll be Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. And then starting next week, there'll be a 6-game homestand against the Braves and the Reds. So there you go. Player of the game. You can give it to a whole bunch of people. I'm leaning toward McMahon was 2 for 4, home run and a single. Stallings 3 for 5. Shunk 3 for 4. There's all kinds of different guys you could give player of the game to, so take your pick there. Either way, Rockies win it by the score of 11-3. I want to thank everybody who was here live and for those that watched later. Again, tomorrow night for the Rockies replay, we'll be in Kansas City as the Rockies take on the Kansas City Royals, and the pitching matchup in that first game in Kansas City. Oh, how did this moth get in here? Get out of here. Flew in and walked in behind me, apparently. It's going to be Feltner for the Rockies against, I believe his name is Chris Bubic, something or other, for Kansas City. Bubic was 8-7 real world, so a pretty good pitcher. He is a left-hander. So that will be the pitching matchup tomorrow night in Kansas City. Yeah, Tabby probably chased it up here. I think what happened was we probably were opening the door. It's right before it got dark. The porch light was on. Probably a moth probably followed me in, then followed me up the stairs when I had the light on. So who knows? I'll chase it out of here, or it'll go away at some point. Anyway, that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.